Let me sit up a little bit here. How y'all like this little equalizer? This thing looks pretty cool, huh? I don't know why anybody uses Restream or StreamYard. OBS has like so much crap built into it. This little equalizer thing back here is just built into OBS. The background removal, I mean, it's not perfect. I don't have a green screen. Oh, see? It's not perfect, but at least I don't have to set up the green screen. It's not bad. It's just a little NVIDIA plugin. It's pretty nice. Anyways, so today we're going to be taking a look at how to get ComfyUI installed so that you can do your image and video generations. And it is actually probably the easiest installation yet. You literally just download a folder and run a program. That's it. So Comfy actually uses Python for running the models, but it's all got its own little contained, so you don't actually even have to set up Python in your system or anything. It has its own contained Python package in the ComfyUI directory. So all you got to do is literally download this one folder and run the file, and you'll have Comfy running. And then beyond that, you just have to download model files and put them into the right folder. So like if you want to use Stable Diffusion, you just download that model and put the model file into the models folder inside Comfy, and that's it. So yeah, it's really straightforward. So let's go ahead and get down here. Get on down the road. This is pretty nice. I got I have yeah, if I just pull OBS over here, you can see. So I have OBS set up here. I got my landscape here, and then over here I have the vertical recording. So it's actually recording two separate files, so I can make my shorts at the same time as I'm making the long video. So this should save some time. Anyways, that's nothing to do with what we're doing today, but figured I'd show you guys. All right, so to get Comfy, it is super easy. All you got to do is go to their GitHub page right here. It's going to be at github.com/ComfyAnonymous/ComfyUI, and super easy to get this. Like I said, you're just going to scroll down all the way down to here and click on this direct link to download. And then once that is downloaded, you will just go in here and right click and extract. And this is going to extract 5 gigs. So it's going to take a second. So once you get that extracted, you are just going to move it to wherever you want. Just make sure you save it somewhere where it's not going to get changed or deleted. I like to save this underneath my home folder. So if you just click on your username over there on the left, you will get to your home folder. And then just like with my OpenWebUI, I also have this folder here under local AI UI. And you can see I have my OpenWebUI there. That is a copy of Comfy that is not extracted yet. And then I have this old Comfy folder, and then I have the new one here. So as soon as you extract the Comfy folder, you're going to get a folder with the same name. If you are going to be using the GPU option in Comfy, you will need to make sure you have CUDA Toolkit installed on your system, but that is covered in my last video where we did OpenWebUI. So I will leave a link to that here or also in the description. This folder is what actually contains everything for Comfy, and then this outside folder here is just kind of like a wrapper. So there's like 2 folders deep there to get into here, and just so I don't have to click into 2 folders every time, I'm just going to actually come into here and grab this folder and Control X to cut that out, and then I'm going to put it right here. Now you can see this one is empty, and so I'll just delete that, and I'm just going to actually rename this ComfyUI, and there we go. So now this Comfy old, we can just ignore. This is my old Comfy installation, and basically I'm just setting Comfy up brand new. So the reason I am starting over on my Comfy installation is, one, so I can show you guys how to set this up from scratch, but also you can see my old Comfy here is 224 gigs, and my new Comfy here, the brand new, when you first install it, it's just going to be 4.9, just barely under 5 gigs. And that's because in this original Comfy installation, I've just been installing all kinds of crap, testing stuff out, and you know, learning how to use it and everything. And so it's gotten very bloated, and there's a lot of stuff in here that I just don't use. So I figured I would start from scratch, so that way I can show you guys how to do that, and also that'll give me a chance to only install the things that I really want installed in the new Comfy installation. All right, so all you're going to do to run Comfy is just go straight into the Comfy folder, and then you're just going to run one of these 2 batch files. If you don't have an NVIDIA GPU, obviously you're going to run the CPU version, and obviously that will take longer. But again, this is completely free and unlimited use and uncensored. So right off the bat, even if you're using the CPU version, it's already way better than the online like DALL-E or, you know, the online image generation tools, because it's free and unlimited. unlimited and you don't have to wait or, you know, get a certain amount of tokens a month or whatever. It's completely unlimited and free. And obviously the other benefit is it being completely uncensored, so you can generate any type of image you want. Really. So you got the CPU version there, and then you have the GPU version right there. Obviously I'm running an NVIDIA GPU, so I'm going to use this one, and that's just going to open a command prompt automatically and start running. The first time you do this, it will take a while to start up. So you can see it's detected my GPU, and then it's starting the web server so we can run Comfy in our browser, and it will automatically go ahead and open up Comfy in the browser for you, and it'll just use whatever browser you used last. Right, and so here we are. This is the standard Comfy window that you're going to see whenever you open it up, and obviously over here in our command prompt, it's still running here. If it doesn't automatically open it up in your browser, this is the URL, so you can just copy that and just paste it into your browser right there, and it'll take you to Comfy. But in my experience, it just opens up automatically in whatever browser you were using last. So the command prompt you can ignore. We'll just minimize that. You can't close it. You do need to leave it running, but you can just minimize it. You don't need to see. And this is the standard, image generation workflow that you're going to see whenever you load Comfy up for the first time. Here's your menu. It's a little floating menu over here off to the side. They actually do have a new menu, so I'm just going to go ahead and switch to that now because I like it better. You can stick to this floating menu right here if you like. It's all going to work exactly the same no matter what you decide to do, but I just like the new menu a little better. So if you just click on the little settings wheel right here and then scroll down to the section that says menu right here, you can put this on the top or bottom. I like to leave it on the bottom, so I'm just going to do that, but you can put it wherever. And so now you can see it has this menu bar along the bottom. And then another thing you'll notice is that there's this sidebar, and you can change the location of that either to left or right if you want as well. So if you come down here to sidebar, you can turn that to the left or the right, and you can also increase the size if you want to make the icons a little bigger. There we go. So now we're all set up, and all we need to do now is run our model. All right, so to run this basic workflow, obviously we need our model file here, our checkpoint file. So let's go ahead and get that. And to find this model file, all you have to do is do a quick search for v15 pruned EMA only. And if you do that, you will see the first link that comes up is this Civet AI. And if you click on that, it will take you directly to this page where you can download. And Civet AI is actually where you're going to get a lot of model files. The other place you are going to go is going to be Hugging Face. Hugging Face is where we're going to get Flux. For now, I just want to download this basic Stable Diffusion model. And we're not actually going to end up using that basic workflow. This is just a very simple example to show you how to get started. So all you got to do is click on this download link right here. Any day now. So when that's done, we're just going to go back to our downloads, and here is our model file. So we're just going to take that and Control X to cut. So the place you're going to go to put these is going to be under this folder called ComfyUI, and then into models, checkpoints. So you're just going to paste that right there. So now if we go back over to Comfy, you're going to see that we'll be able to use this. You just need to hit this little refresh button right here. And then now when you click on this, you can actually see that you can select it there. So now that we have this model installed, we'll be able to run this workflow. And of course, you're going to run your workflow by hitting the Q button, and you can see that it has a green box as it goes across to the different things, and there is our image. So the way these diffusion models work is by taking a latent image, which is kind of like a randomized starting point for an image, and actually I can show you an example right here. So this is kind of an example of what it's going to start with, and then it's going to apply processing steps over every pixel in the image until it arrives at the output image that you see here, of course. And the way that it comes up with those random pixel values is it uses some initial random condition, which is this seed value here. And you can see right now our sampler is set to randomize. So every time time we run this workflow, we're going to get a different image because our seed is going to change every time. So if I click Q again, you can see it changes and we get a different output image. And that's because it's getting a different one of these every time. It's still going to be based on what you have in your prompt, but of course, since it has a different starting point for the pixel values, it's going to have a different output image. So just going through these nodes from left to right so we can kind of explain what each one is. Obviously, this first one is our checkpoint. This is where we're loading our model. And then we have our positive and negative prompt. And some of these models will have a positive and a negative prompt. Some of them, like Flux, just has a positive prompt. So this isn't going to always be the same for every model. But in this case, we have a positive prompt and a negative prompt. So the positive prompt is what we want to see in our output image. The negative prompt is what we don't want to see. So we don't want any text in this case or a watermark. And so this node here for the empty latent image, that's just going to control the dimensions of our initial image. And then batch size, if you want to do more than one at a time, you could bump this up to 2 or 3 or 4, and you could generate 4 images at a time. As I mentioned earlier, this seed value here is just going to provide a random starting point for our latent image. Steps is the number of rounds of processing that our model is going to do on our empty latent image. This CFG value here is a measure of how strict you want your model to be. So if you want it to give you exactly what you've typed in your text prompt, you can set this to a higher number. If you want it to be a little more creative and kind of come up with something on its own, you can set this to a lower number. This sampler and scheduler here it's not very important that you know exactly what that is and how it works. What's important really is just that you know kind of like what the outcome of them are. And so basically what I would recommend whenever you're testing this out is set this seed to some number that you want it to be set to. In my case, I always set it to 4, but it literally does not matter at all. You can set this to any number you want and then just set this to fixed. And basically all that's going to do is make sure you have the exact same starting point for your random pixel values every single time. And then once you have this seed set to a fixed value, you will get the exact same output from your prompt every single time. And if nothing is changed whenever you click Q, it's just not going to run it again. Since our seed is not randomized and changing to a different number every time, it's just not going to do anything when you click Q. And so now that we have our seed set to a fixed value and we're getting the same exact output every time, we could just try a different sampler. So we could try Euler Ancestral and see what that gives us. And slightly different variation on it. Again, what's important is that you just kind of know, if I want to generate this style of image, I'm going to use this sampler or this scheduler, and that's all that really matters as far as those go. The denoise value just means how much of the noise you want to get out of the latent image, and in terms of image processing, randomness is typically referred to as noise, and so denoising means you want to get rid of that. And this is going to be some value between 0 and 1. Basically 1 is 100%, so you want to get rid of 100% of this randomness. So those are all of the basic pieces. You're going to have some kind of model. You're going to start with some kind of latent image, and some models you're going to have just a positive prompt, and some you'll have the positive and the negative prompt. And then you're going to have your sampler, which is going to actually use your model to process the empty latent image. And then you have your VAE, which will decode the output, and then that will produce your output image. All right, guys, so that is going to be it for this one. I'm going to keep it short and sweet so we can get on to the next one and learn how to set up our Flux model. And I'm actually going to go ahead and do that one right now. So if you're watching this, that means the other one is posted also. So you can go ahead and check the link in the description for that. As always, I'm looking forward to hearing what you guys have to say in the comments. If you have any questions, or if you generate some images and just want to leave a link for us, put all that stuff in the comments. Of course, do all the YouTube things like subscribe, share, all that jazz. And if you want custom model files and workflows to make your life easier, you can hit up the Patreon for that. As always, obviously everything is free, but if you want to become a $5 member over on Patreon to help support my work, that would be fantastic. There are also links to Cash App and Venmo and something else, PayPal. No, I don't have PayPal. One of those other things down in the description. You can check that as well. And I am going to go ahead and get on the next video. Take care.